All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. You're welcome to Plan B Express and weekly market update. This is Felix, and I know it's going to be very fantastic. We're going to have two sections tonight. First segment of it's going to be just like normal, usual market overview, and then we're going to dimensions through which you can make money in the crypto space. And so first, we're going to looking at the markets and covering the aspect of cryptocurrency, currency markets, commodity index, derivatives index, and of course, synthetics volatility. So quickly, let me go to my trading view. And of course, we saw the dimension of things that are happening in the market recently and the kind of permutations that are happening too. So you don't get twisted because a lot of have told us that a lot of manipulations will be happening in the market. And so either you like it or not, we're going to be having it. So let's quickly look at DXY first. And for me, of course, I told us long time when we're coming down from here that I was going to see DXY, back to the bottom. And of course, I was not too comfortable of this bottom, however, but tentatively, we should be seeing a kind of more up move for probably maybe over here 103.64 or rally out and get rejected. And so it's still not a stoppage for now for DXY because I told us about this point and all like. So even if we rallied up this week up a little or get rejected at this 103.228 or get rejected at 103.624, however, the last point of 104.155 and all of that, then we should have more crash down for DXY. And remember, this week is actually, for those of us who are trading currency, this week is actually of CPI, Wednesday. And so you want to pay attention to the CPI news. And of course, if you understand what it takes on how to maximize and still make a lot of money, when the CPI news actually come up. So there are a few news I trade when I have time anyway. And so I always want people to pay, not all news demand your attention to that extent. But CPI definitely demand your attention, FMOC demand your attention, and so many other news that you can check. So now, if that's the case, we still have the DXY still a downtrend. And so if that's the case, when it rally up a little, okay, we saw what has happened for Euro USD. That's why I said those of you are trading currency. So when we have a little rally up this week for DXY, then you probably could expect Euro USD to swap down a little. And then if we have a massive rally up to where I said we could come back to, and eventually if we get rejected, that means you should expect USD Euro to have a very good downpour, as it were, right? So that means you're going to be looking at Euro USD back to this point, right? Or give and take to this black line, which is about 108. That's 1.0816, 1.08350. Now, that's going to be a very good sell-up. Sell for any currency trader. So, although momentum and two good activities, so it's not actually on Euro, any USDPS for now, you may want to pay much attention to JPY peers, right? So let's look at, so quickly, look at GBP, JPY, something like that. Do I have that? I think Euro, JPY, USD, JPY. Okay, so let's just take that here. So GBP, JPY, GB, JPY. So that's the best. Remember for last week, some persons I told about the GBP JPY after I very much sell it off, buying off. So you want to pay more attention to GBP JPY this week. If you can have a wrap up of the opening of the market in the next few hours, then so having a break over here. So if I were you for this week, I want to pay much attention to anything that has to do with, you know, JPY peers. So that JBP, JPY, UJ, USD, JPY, and all of that. So, but you want to have a little rally up first on the DXY, and then a little drop or some kind of drop on Euro USD and then GBP USD. So for beginner, we always recommend for people to stay on things that may not too drag or too volatile for you. That's why Euro USD, because good volume and all of that could be very good for you to buy into for GBP. Now going into crypto, so let's quickly look at our crypto, our lovely crypto. So look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, so having a very big struggle, like I've said before now. So we're on a very good support level, right? But is threatened. This point is threatened. And so for the close of today and opening Monday, I'm afraid anyway. So I'm not going to be surprised anyway. Bitcoin, going back to 57,000, and then perhaps dump back to the $53,000, maybe if you can find enough support. But we're actually very strong on a good support, right? 59.60, 59.60 have been a kind of battle ranging and all of that. So, but I'm afraid maybe a little bit of some kind of funny drop. Remember I said the market is not going to be rosy. We'll continue to have some kind of sideways and more drop because we start losing the momentum over and over, creating a kind of a lower high, continually as it were. So that means if I must target my market for Bitcoin this week, that's getting a new opening tomorrow, Monday, I will want to see market coming down for Bitcoin. Unless and if this place can be maintained and the new market open and we get bullish. But even at that, we'll still look at 62,400 as another point of resistance or maximum to 64. But please don't be deceived because I've told us that market is going to be manipulated and that's where you need to stay cautious. So, but anything drop below here now and open for a kind of bearish bias tomorrow, then that means we can drop back, right? Perhaps can drop back to 56,500 or find ourselves back to, this is a very nice support. We have a very good support at that 53,000, 52,000, my lovely region, right? And we can now rally back. So you want to pay attention. So somebody would ask me now, can I buy now or can I sell? No, there are times that are very good, especially those of us who are, following maturely, not talking of, if you're a scalper, of course, you have nothing to do much with, apart from checking what your daily buyers are. If you have not much business with, daily chart or weekly chart, as it were. But for us who are investor, right, or position traders, we definitely will want to leverage on the market, big move. Okay, so Bitcoin tentatively we're still bearish. So chances are there we're going to drop back to 56,000 or back to 53,000 probably before taking a move. But we have a nice support today, close above this point. That's 59,700, 59,600, and then 59,800, 59,900, and 60,000. Then we can rally back to 62. So that means I'll be looking for buy if I want to long a position to 62 and perhaps 64,000 all over. Okay, but outside that, sorry, you have to be very careful about it. Now, I remember telling some of us that this is not the season, sorry. This is not the season to, just a moment. Sorry. So I remember telling many of us that this is not the season to buy, especially if you have not been in before now, this is not the season to buy a coin and want to hold because market will still be tormenting so many people. And so the best you can buy, sell, and then until you're able to find a very concrete move for the market. Outside that, it's quietly fragile. We could see what Bitcoin is doing. And then the same thing on Solana. I think I was telling one of my friends yesterday, you have to short Solana. And then, no, was last week, that Wednesday or so. I told him you have to short Solana. And then we can see what Solana did. So get a 163,000, unlike the previous time when it got back to 169,000, $169, sorry. And now here we are for Solana. So that means we are still looking at Solana to possibly go back to $131 thereabout, and then probably have a bounce as it were. Or if as the market open, we have a gain of rally, a push down to 142. So certainly looking at Solana back to 142, probably before you wake up tomorrow morning. And then if we have a bounce there, that will be a nice one. And then we can first rally back to 153. And then if we can push above 163, if not, then you should find Solana to $130, $131, probably for buying and all of that. So if I were you, as a market open, those of you who are trading futures or whatever, then you want to find a short position entry, and then you want to be taking the profit down at 133, 131, but perhaps looking at Solana to hit back to 131, $130 as it were. I'm just picking one or two coins. And that's why I recommended that you don't need to trade too many coins, especially those of you who are day traders or scalper. You don't need to trade too many coins. So those of our investor, you can buy many coins because you're just spreading your tentacles so that you can make some money. And that's exactly what I recommend for some of us to pay attention to. Okay, that's for Bitcoin. So looking at commodity indices, okay, so we'll look at gold and then oil. So I trade oil and I trade gold very, very often. And so let's look at, if you look at gold, so at the opening today, you want to find gold. These have been a resistance. Of course, we rally back here was a nice one, and all over here was a nice one. And then this support is still holding as much as possible, even when I have this support, and then we still continue a kind of higher low over again. So gold is still looking more good to an extent, but you want to see gold. One of the funnest things is that gold is highly volatile, and then it could go open here tonight, and you see gold first retrace back to maybe 2422 thereabout, and then continue to take a move. But I'm looking at 2472 as the next resistance. If that happens, then we'll come back again. But layer by layer of the support, we have a very strong support at 2389, 2365 region, and then continue to go sideways and probably swing up. So ask me now, hopefully, what should I do on gold? Now, if you're looking at long coverage, you may not find a position on time. But those of you who are scalping, you probably want to go down to 5 minutes, 1 minute, and you're going to be finding a very nice capping and all of that. For instance, let me just look at gold here. Sorry. Okay, so let me look at gold. So here is gold. Okay, so look at your 5 minutes. Probably want to be looking for an entry for your 5 minutes. So meaning that as market open, maybe probably pull back to 2429 region or so, and then find an entry back to for 5 minutes. So those of you who are trading or scalping, day trading, it opens, you can allow the pullback. All right, so probably took back to that. I said that 2429 region or back to 2928 or so, and then you find a move up for those of you who are trading. But if you are swinging, I would rather ask you to wait to have a clearer direction Monday is actually a day where market movement are actually been induced, not a pure market conditions, as it were. So you probably want to pay much attention on that. So looking at gold oil, US oil, and that was it performed very, very well last week. And go here. So oil. Okay, so oil did well last week to have a recovery, and then that's what we're seeing for now. So that means oil ordinarily it's more bullish than gold, right? So looking at oil, even when we pull back, probably back down here, 76, yeah, about. So you can have rally back to maybe 80. So for this week, possible can go to $80, $82 for oil and all of that. Those of us who trade oil and all that. And one of the things is that oil can be gradual if you understand what you are doing, and then you can make a whole lot of money, as it were. Okay, so that for the commodity indices, and then derivatives, talk about US 30, right? US 30, and then look at NAS 100, all right? NASDAQ, US 30, that is Dow Jones, S&P 500, and all the like. Okay. That was a very good bounce, like a lot, but quite volatile, like S&P 500, US 30, NAS 100, they were quite volatile last week. So what do you want to have? You want to have a continuation upward move for, because that was like a kind of sharp recovery for the US Wall Street and the NASDAQ last week. And so the manipulations or the kind of hype could still continue for us to rally back to right 39975 region or 40,000 region for US 30 and all of that if you trade it. So, but ordinarily, if not, you should be finding a very nice up move for US 30 if you are the type that trade it. Another so NASDAQ, NAS 500. So that's a similar movement for the two guys and all of that. Now, what I always like to look at market in the perspective that you will have rest of mind, not killing yourself over again, to be able to get it traded, as it were. Okay. So let's look at synthetics. Synthetics is a very lovely environment. Wow. So synthetics is a very lovely environment if you are a trader. Okay, understand this. If you're a trader. Okay, so if you're a trader, quickly look at, let's look at it. If you're a trader, right? This is V25, and so this is my recommendation most times. Those of you are trading synthetics, I say always have a larger perspective, a bigger view for your trade, so that you will not over labor yourself. There are so many factors I give as an example that everyone trading synthetic indices should always try to look at, right? So because this is a market, however, you want to look at, okay, you want to look at, it's a fake out. So you want to look at how this market actually work. And so the best you can tell to yourself is to pick few instrument. And one of the best instrument I recommend for beginner is V75, right? Now, if you look at V75, because of the stock market, US stock market have been having a lot of crashes and all of that, then we have been crazily down for, V75 for a very long time, okay? And that's why when you look at the bigger perspective, you're able to navigate to appropriate entry and ride the market as much as possible. So you can imagine, since last year, November, after the peak up here for US V75, last year, November, it has been our sell and I sell and sell, breaking all the previous all-time low, and then we change direction entirely. Okay. Now, so continuity of that downtrend is still very, very more high for 25. And so look at Boom 1000, right? And I told you, if you are not the type that can be very mechanical, you don't trade Boom. the boom and crash, just stop at your volatility index so that you will not have problem. But if you are the type that understand how to obey certain rule mechanically, then you are going to make a lot of money if you settle down with just a specific boom. If it's boom 1,000, if it's boom 500, the like, then will be better off for you. Okay, so boom 1,000 has been crazily moving, and then after a lot of retracement, so it has created a kind of continuity, as it were. And so you can see, find out that 1,000 had been on the rise, just against the November of what's it called, V75 and all of that. So you still have a higher probability of it coming up again for boom 1,000, as it were. Okay, so it's fantastic for me. And then so look at the boom 500. Fantastic. I think there was a time there was a very big rally down, and then look at a nice structure here. What do you have? A double bottom. So you see how boom 100 to continue up move. Okay, to continue an up move. I mean boom 500 perhaps. So boom 500. So you can still have how many points to cover if we're going to be rejected. Come on, that's a very big one. Okay, so let me just shift this. So you still have over, let me just take from here so that to be realistic. Okay, you still have about 300 plus points to go. And then this is what I always say. Imagine after the double bottom for boom 500, that was last month. We continue to rally down. Ordinarily, we have a lot of points to break and continue, but it got a nice bounce back at this area of importance for 500. And then, if not, if we had got this place broken, right? So perhaps here, then we'll have flat down. But I'm afraid what we're going to have next is either we'll go step return back from here, right? So either we'll get stopped back from here, but I'm much optimistic that it's going to have a continuity for this week to cover some point. So you want to look at, okay, so imagine this was a neckline. So ladies and gentlemen, that's where we tell all of us to always settle down and learn. So knowledge is very, very important. It's an asset that's going to stay with you. Nobody is going to steal it from you. Okay. So we have a nice neckline broken and retested. Here you have that. And then since that retest, so you can see that market is better view in a bigger time frame. Now, come on, this is 1,000 point shooting into the future. So that's from July 21st. July 21st. I like holding trades, and especially when it has to do with boom. Sometime it's just that I really have enough time to sit down to trade. So, but you could look at boom 500. So it's going to create a continuity, probably, maybe hitting there, but at least you can still calculate about 200 points to go. Now, listen, if you are the one that trading boom 500, boom 1,000, boom 300, understand that these guys can give you some drawdown for a while. But if you understand your bias or what you are going, where you are going, then you should know that you're going to be making money. And then, so however, boom 300 has been on the fall for some time, and I'm not going to be surprised if we continue. So, but as a beginner, I always want, you don't need to go to boom 300. It can be very, very fast. And perhaps because of, what do we call it? The point measurement, what is it point? What do we call it? The point measurement, that has to do with its own lot size is 1 to $1 and all of that. And that's why I recommend boom 1,000, boom 500 for beginners, so that you can trade and make money within period and then to be able to minimize their losses because of it will be 0.20 to a lot. And that's, sorry, you can go down to as low as 0.2 and then which can control if you are going to be reading a loss, and then you can always step out of the market and still be okay. All right. So boom 300, well, the only hope you have is that because you are told you if your account size is not big and you're a beginner, you don't want to try it. So, but I'm not going to be surprised to see boom 300, actually cap up from tomorrow again. Come on, that's a big point anyway. That's about 370 something point, and then it will continue downward. So that's for boom 300. And so imagine when we continue downward, then the journey is gonna be fantastic down, right? It's gonna be fantastic down as it were for boom 300. That means you're going to see the crash enjoying its ride as much as possible. Okay, so this is boom 300. Forecasting to the future here back to this point, that's about 500 points. And then if we're going to crash entirely for boom 300, so that is shooting to the future of 1,500 points. And the advantage of some of those things are, though I always advise if you are trading and then you have not made so much money in the spike, don't get caught in the tick. If not, imagine shooting into the future 1,500 points, and you are going by maybe 1 or 2 positions. So you can rake in 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 in a month or 2, 3 months, shooting into the future, as it were. Okay, so let's quickly go back to where we are. So I've told us about the markets, the crypto, that's the Bitcoin and all the like. Okay, good. So Bitcoin, you can see it's continued to still crash. It's now 58K. Can you see now? Yeah, so it's now 58K. And then you see Solana now 144, right? Good. So you can see Solana is responding very fast, as it were. Then those of you on private mentorship, be with me and all of that. I think I sent a certain video that I told you guys, listen to it again, over and again. If you apply it, I can tell you, you can make a lot of money. And I just said, please reduce your exposure to few instruments. You can trade only Bitcoin and make a lot of money. So it's not about how many instruments you trade. If you don't discipline yourself to narrow your trading into few instruments, I tell you, you're going to have a problem. You may think you're actually making money, but you will dissipate so much of your energy to different things and you will not be able to produce better results. Okay, so you can see, so for me, I'm expecting Bitcoin continuation for crash, perhaps back to what I said. So here to 56,000 plus, and then back to 53,000. Then we'll have a rally from there. However, but somebody will ask me now, can I jump in now? If you want to jump in now, you are doing futures, I think it's going to be good you use a very low leverage, because it's always a bad idea jumping into the market at the middle of candle not close. So that's very unprofessional. Okay, so you believe that, okay, anyone who probably have located and stay with Bitcoin today will have been in much money because you'll have seen a clearer direction for Bitcoin, perhaps at the wicks of this candle or even at the major body of the candle. And so the fellow will have been, if he short here to this point now, it's about 3%. So 10x, that will have given about 30%, and it could continue. So before we get here, the person could do 60, 70% as it were. Okay, so on that note, I always tell us that, okay, if you missed an entry, find the next better entry before you jump in. Okay, I mentioned about PopCat, and I recommended most of our people, I say, forget about too many other coins. PopCat was pumping a lot of volume. I said, faced PopCat, Solana, BNB, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. You're okay. All this one. And that first one, I gave recommendation, just Solana, Weave, Bonk, PopCat, and Mew. You're okay. I'm telling you. So PopCat now, so if we have a bounce here, fine. But if we do not have a bounce here, and then Bitcoin continue to go down, then you can go, you are making crazy money on PopCat back to, so still losing about 39%. So imagine if you use 5x. 5x, so if you use 5x, you are shorting PopCat, you use 5x, but altcoin can be very volatile. So 5x multiplied by 39, or let's even say 30. So that's going to give you 150. So for people who are using 10x, so 10x multiplied by 30%, right? That's going to give you about 300%. So even if it's $100 exposure you have, so 300% of $100 will have given you additional $300. That's what it means. So you can see PopCat. So for anyone who found an entry, so continuation, stop, and here, of course, obviously this candle is going to close bearish. And then we have an opening. So you won't say, okay, can I jump in now? Well, maybe to be somehow risky, but if you can know you can cope with the risk, why? The market will close anytime soon, right? And so when it does close, you expect the market to open and first take a kind of to take it high, and then before continue. So in the process of taking it high, you that just enter now, you may be stopped out, or you'll be on a very gross net profit, gross loss, and then you'll be afraid for your floating loss. And then eventually it continues. So you are looking at give and take. If you have that continuation downward, then that means you're looking at PopCat first point of rest, on the major rest is going to be at 41 cents thereabout. So that's what you want to do. So enough of that. So that's for the market. So we have a lot of things. So I've told you guys that expect the market probably to still be dilly-dallying, and then we'll go down as much as possible. Good. Okay, so now quickly, I'm going to go into how a lot of people, if you are new tonight and you're joining us for the first time, you're welcome. I'm going to show you the next episode, show you how to actually make money in crypto. So because I've met a lot of people, they come and meet me, I need to do this, I need to do that. I say, no, you have choice to make. Okay, so pay attention.